When France entered the war in 1778, the American Revolution ceased to be just a colonial rebellion and became a world war. Its fiercest new arena was the Caribbean. The great fortunes of 18th century Europe were built on sugar harvested in the West Indies. Here, a bitter struggle raged over this sweet crop. In 1779, Charles III of Spain joined his nephew, Louis XVI of France, against England to win control of these bountiful islands. The three great powers sailed into a thundering naval war. When the Revolution began, Britain had 270 warships. America, virtually none. In the autumn of 1776, a glimmer of maritime hope appeared in the form of a one-man submarine made of oak and covered with tar called the Turtle. Lighted within by the phosphorescent weed Foxfire and propelled by a hand crank, the Turtle's mission was to screw explosives into the hulls of British ships. But the screw was designed to penetrate wood, and British ships were lined with copper. Submarine warfare would have to wait another 100 years. During the entire war, fewer than 60 ships of the American Navy ever put to sea. One congressman described the Navy as a collection of tinkers, shoemakers, and horse jockeys. There was one brilliant exception, a Scottish-born captain whose name would become as famous in international waters as in America. John Paul Jones.
He wasn't born John Paul Jones, he was born simply John Paul. And in the 1760s, unfortunately, flogged to death a ship's carpenter who had in some way or shape been insubordinate. And he was accused of murder and cleared ultimately of the charges. But in the 1770s, he once again murdered a mutinous sailor, and fearing that he would once again be charged with murder, he fled and took refuge in America, where he added the name Jones.
When the Revolution began, John Paul Jones was given a commission in the fledgling American Navy. In February 1779, he received a gift from the French, an ungainly old cargo ship, which he fitted with guns and christened Bonhomme Richard to honor Poor Richard of Benjamin Franklin's famous almanac. In mid-August, Jones sailed from France in search of British prey. On the night of September 23rd, off the coast of England, Jones came abreast of the Serapis, a 50-gun warship. As the ships opened fire, there was a deafening roar. Two of Jones' largest cannons exploded, decimating his crew. Undaunted, Jones lashed his ship to the Serapis and continued the fight with light cannons and muskets.
They just blasted away at each other. And whether John Paul Jones ever said, "I have just begun to fight," or not, you know, he was definitely on the deck shouting at the British commander. They were shouting back and forth when they could be heard. And the British commander probably decided, this guy's nuts. I'm never going to defeat him. It's just, I mean, this is just ridiculous. We're all going to end up killing each other. John Paul Jones wouldn't stop.
Finally, when the Serapis mainmast began to totter, Captain Pearson had had enough.
The captain of the Serapis gave repeated orders for one of his crew to haul down the English flag, but no one would stir to do it. They were afraid of our riflemen. The captain, therefore, ascended the quarterdeck and hauled down the very flag which he swore he would never strike to that infamous pirate, J.P. Jones. Lieutenant Nathaniel Fanning.
The fight lasted more than 3 hours. Each side lost about 150 men, almost half of each crew. The victorious Bonhomme Richard sank 2 days later, and Jones sailed away on his new ship, the Serapis.